Hello and welcome to Mentors Coaching FM, the show that helps you tame the business beast and build a marketing machine so that you can focus on helping your clients get the transformation you promise. I'm Gail Seymour, founder of Mentors Coaching, the results-oriented growth platform where learning providers of all stripes can create and deliver courses and programs that handle scheduling, payments and delivery all in one place with no monthly fee. Just a simple, low commission structure that means if you don't earn, you don't pay. Okay, so on Mentors Coaching FM, we're going to be talking about coaching and learning and enablement in all its forms from a business and a practical perspective. So what does that mean? We're talking about the things that you don't really like thinking about very often as a solo entrepreneur or a small business and the person who has to wear all the hats. A lot of the people that I work with tend not to be great at bookkeeping. They don't necessarily understand the intricacies of GDPR compliance, for example. They just start a business because they're really good at something and they want to do it and they want to help people. And then they find out that there's all this other stuff that you have to do as well along with that. And so I actually came from writing books and then ghostwriting books for authors and helping those authors create the platforms to market their books and also to market themselves, because a lot of the time people coming to me to write books were people who really wanted to use those books to build their business and their platform rather than to actually make a living from book sales. And so over time that's developed, and so now I'm helping authors, a lot of whom are coaches, to actually build those platforms, create the content. And so that's kind of morphed into the coaching platform that I've set up originally just to help my own authors and clients to actually be able to get their businesses off the ground and get their content online, have a platform where they can deliver the content, and they've got these great transformational packages, but the actual getting them online and getting the people into them, getting the delivery side of things is a big challenge for a lot of people. And so that's where the Mentors Coaching platform came from. And so we have this ethos of what you actually need in your business is you need the tool set, you need the mindset, and you need the skill set. But it starts with mindset. Because if you don't get your thinking right, everything that follows from it gets messed up. So a lot of the time people start to think about, for instance, with writing books, they sit down, they write a book, and then having written a book, they go, right, who am I going to sell it to? Who's the audience? Where realistically, from a publishing perspective, you actually start with who's the audience, what's the problem, how can I help them, and then you go from there. It's the same with coaching. You can start with what you're really good at, put a program together, and then go out and try and find people to put into that program. But it's a lot more effective if you work out who your audience is first. So you think in terms of what you want to achieve. What sort of business do you want? Do you want a lifestyle business? Do you want to do one-to-one coaching? Do you want to do group coaching? Do you just want to deliver classes? Are you actually a mentor? Are you a teacher, a trainer, a facilitator? What is it that you actually want to be doing with your time on the side of the business that you got into it for? And so once you know that helps you work out who your audience is. Once you know who your audience is, that helps you work out what the problem that you're solving them for. And we talk in terms of 4-figure fixes, which we'll cover on another day. But you're looking for the things that are so urgent, critical and painful that your audience will literally hand over 4 figures for you to help them fix. And so that's where your transformational offers come from. So everything rests on getting the mindset right. You can have all the tools, and we will talk tools, and we will talk about all that side of stuff. You know, the what are the best things to do for a platform? There will be a lot of marketing talk, and you know, where are the best places to market? What are the trends? What are the evergreen ways to actually get people into your business? We'll get into all that stuff later, and we will be talking skills. So we'll be bringing. I'm not going to try and do all of this on my own. I'm not a coaching expert. I'm not even a business expert, if I'm honest. I'm just a few steps ahead of my clients. And so I'm going to be bringing in people who are experts in their field, and I'm going to be interviewing different people on the different platforms, processes, all the different things that you need to know. We're going to talk to them. They're going to come in and help us out. But for today, as this is the first episode, what I want to do is just talk to you about the mindset and the things that stop people from getting started. Now, this is the same whether you're getting started as a coach, a consultant, an author, whether you want to start a fruit and veg stand. The same sort of things can stop people from getting started. So what are they? Obviously we're talking about mindset here. So you get people who say, I want to do it, but I just don't have the time. Okay, and so if you're not going to do it now, what makes you think you're going to do it later? When do you imagine that you're going to have the time? Because life will just keep throwing things at you. The only way you have the time is if you prioritize and make the time. So when you say, I don't have the time, what you're really saying is, that's not my priority right now. That's okay. You know, nobody can dictate to you what your priorities should be. What matters is that you're honest with yourself. Instead of saying, I want to do this, but I don't have the time. If you say to yourself, I'd really like to do this, but it's just not my biggest priority right now. It's just a lot more honest with yourself, and it's not leaving you with a feeling of deprivation that there's something you want to do but you can't. It's a choice. It's acknowledging that this is a choice. There are other things that you want or need to do more. Okay, another thing that stops people from starting anything is that I'm not good enough. Who am I to do that? That whole imposter syndrome thing. Well, you know what? You become the person to do that by doing it. You can sit on the sidelines all day watching other people do things and thinking, oh, it's okay for them. They've got this and they've got that. Do you know what? Everybody starts somewhere. You start where you are. And so you don't have to try and be something that you're not. You don't have to try and be somebody else. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else. You are who you are. You are where you are. And you know what? Where you are is in front of somebody else. There's always somebody else who can learn from what you've already done. You know, all of our lives, we're all learning from other people. People are always learning from us. And so all you have to do is be prepared to share what you've learned. So that comes down to that whole, but what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? What is it that I have to offer? And this can really trip people up. They get going around in circles and what do I need? What's my purpose? What is my value? What are my strengths? And none of those things are wrong. Those are things that you want to know. But you know what really matters is what people want from you. What is it that people come to you and ask for your help with? What are the questions that people ask you? So it's not necessarily what you have the value of and what you think that other people want from you. It's what other people tell you they want from you. If you're not sure, I mean, if you've got a passion, great, go for it. But if you're not sure, then just listen to the questions that people ask you and go with that. The next one is that whole fear of failure. What if it doesn't work? What if I do this and it doesn't work? Do you know what? It doesn't matter. Do it anyway. You won't know if it's going to work until you've tried it. If you don't try it, it can't work. The only way you ever find out if something's going to work is by just take a breath, make a step, do something that moves you towards whatever it is that you want to do. Failing is not a bad thing. Failing is how you learn. If you never fail, you never learn, because nothing changes. And if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again because you haven't learned anything from it, that's called stagnation. So, yeah, there's going to be things that go wrong. Like, we've got dogs barking outside now. I'm not stopping. I'm on a roll. It's okay. But you know what? If you don't fail, you don't succeed either. Nobody can succeed at everything all of the time. There are bound to be failures along the way. Just accept that and get on with it. It's okay. Have fun with it. Laugh when things go wrong. Learn when things go wrong. Be okay with things going wrong. And so the next one, this is one of the ways you will learn to be okay with things going wrong, is that there's always some kind of technical or knowledge-based barrier to entry. Now, whatever you're trying to do, whether it's, I'm not a qualified coach, it's okay. You don't have to be a qualified coach. You don't have to be a qualified mentor. Okay, if you're teaching, you need a qualification. But you can still help people learn in a lot of different ways without having a qualification. If you're not tech savvy, the technology at the moment is so advanced that it's so user-friendly. You can find a way to get started. You can find a way to share what you have to offer. And, you know, yeah, there's a learning curve, but you can get started and learn along the way and then share what you learned. So you might not know where to start. You might feel afraid. You might think people are going to reject you. But you know what? If you think nobody's going to come, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to read, nobody's going to pay me to coach them, that's going to keep you in your little shell, and it's going to stop you from reaching out and giving people the opportunity to read, to listen, to come and help start your business, to pay you for showing them what you know. So it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies that if you're so afraid that it won't work and that people are going to reject you, you get your rejection in first. You have to be ready to step past that. You have to allow people not to reject you by giving them the offer. And if you think you're shy or you think you're self-conscious, a little bit awkward, listen, I'm a dork. I'm a bit of a geek. I sometimes freeze. I sometimes get halfway through a sentence and lose the words, and I'm a writer. That can be really frustrating. But it's also, it's okay. You've just got to do it anyway. Because if you're not doing whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to be doing something else that you don't want to do. That's the top and tail of it. So we don't have to have confidence to start. You don't have to have confidence to do things. You just have to make that first step. You just have to try. Now, again, we've covered the whole I'm too busy, but think about time management in the sense of, if I've decided this is going to be my priority and I am going to do this, then things are still going to get in the way. Things are going to crop up. You're going to have other things to do. And so you have to start thinking about how am I going to manage my time? How am I going to plan for this? What else am I going to let slide? What am I not going to do? What am I going to delegate to other people? And those are the sorts of questions that you have to start thinking about. It's when you're starting the very first steps of working on your business rather than in it. Instead of getting caught up with the firefighting, you just need to take a few minutes every morning to plan out the day, make your lists, spend half an hour at the weekend planning out the week, and just thinking ahead, planning ahead, knowing full well that some of those plans will literally go right out the window. You just got to be adaptable. Sometimes things don't pan out, but you can't, again, if you haven't got a plan, you can't stick to the plan. Things will just keep happening and take up your time. So you have to still have that plan, even if you know you're not going to keep it. When it comes to budget, almost any business can be bootstrapped, and certainly a coaching business can be bootstrapped. An online learning business can be bootstrapped. You don't have to go and set up a website and have all sorts of different services on monthly subscriptions in order to be able to talk to people, to put your offers together, to actually make the offer to the people you're talking to, and to sign people up for whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a course or a coaching group, a group coaching program, or a one-to-one group program. You don't need lots and lots of gizmos and gadgets. You don't need hosting. You don't need anything that's going to be massively expensive. If you've got a smartphone, you've got internet access, you can go along to Mentors Coaching, you can take the free training, you can set up your courses, set up your services, connect your calendar, and you can literally be scheduling all of these things, taking payments, all with no monthly fee. You pay a small commission. If you don't earn anything, you don't pay anything. And I'm not the only place where you can do these things. Mentors Coaching is not the only place that you can start your business and not have monthly outgoing. So I'm not going to pretend like this is the only place on earth where you can do this. No, there's others. It's okay. I'm going to show you what I know and help you with what I know. And if you choose to work somewhere else, you choose to go somewhere else, that's cool. It's not a problem. I'm still going to give you what I know. Okay? And so the last thing, I suppose, that really keeps people from getting started, that really shouldn't, is that they want to have everything tied up in a nice, neat package before they launch. I think I'm going to sit down and I'm going to put all of my package together, and I'm going to put all of my content together, and I'm going to get all my ducks nice and neat in a row, and then I'm going to share it with people. And that is the worst thing that you can do. Trust me, I've done it. I did that way back a few years ago. I spent a lot of time putting courses together and putting a whole platform together, put them out, and they just were not what people wanted. They were me being super, super geeky and nerdy and wanting to teach everybody all about typography and all sorts of stuff that nobody cares. It's not what the authors that I was working with wanted. It's not what coaches and consultants want. There might be a few people that are genuinely interested in this, but they kind of already know it. And so I poured my heart into content that really just wasn't necessary. It was done for me. Let's be honest, it was done for me. And so what you have to do if you want to be successful is that you have to start the conversation with people, find out what their problems are, figure out which of those problems you can help them solve, and put a sketch of an outline together and say, right, okay, if we're going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be, these are the big steps that we have to cover along the way. And then you put your offer together and you share it with the people who you know you can help. And you do that until you get a few people that you can run your program through. You can create the content with them as they need it, and you can tailor it to the people that you're working with. And then once you've run a few people through it, you can start to tidy it up and package it up. Having already been paid for it, already knowing that it works and having testimonials and proof. So then you put your course together, you put it out, but you still testing and you use a smaller group. And then over time, you roll it out to more and more people. That's the way to make sure that the courses and the content and offers and the packages that you create are things that people want, people will pay you to take them through. Okay, and so that's the ethos and the mindset that we'll be talking about various aspects of on Mentors Coaching. I have some awesome guests lined up for you over the next few weeks, but for now I'm going to sign off. Keep coaching.